Karibu kwenye chaneli hii Mayinat DMTV, ujifunze neno la Mungu kwa neema ya Mungu. Mwalimu Danieli wa Dar es Salaam, Tanzania atakufundisha na kujibu maswali yako. Kama ni mara yako ya kwanza kutembelea chaneli hii, usisahau kusubscribe. Karibu sasa kwenye somo hili, tujifunze pamoja.
Dear my friend, wherever you are, I would like to invite you and to say welcome to this program this afternoon. I am Dr. from Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, and I would like to share with you about what is going on now in the US. I think all of you have heard or have seen the wave of Muslims who are still demanding the implementation of the Sharia law in the non-Islamic countries. We know that just a few years ago, there was an Arab Springs in the Islamic countries. So some of Muslims migrated to Western countries, including the US, Canada, and other countries. But now, after they settled, they have found peace in these non-Islamic countries. They have started demanding the implementation of the Sharia. They want now the secular constitution of these non-Islamic countries to have some articles about the Sharia law. But always we ask this ourselves, that okay, these people are immigrants from the Islamic countries where they experienced the violence. Now, for them to be in the Western countries is a result of the political instability in their countries. So Western countries welcomed them, provided them with all, human aids, including shelter, including food, including all social services. But after a short time now, what we see is a wave moving from one place to another. Most of them demanding the implementation of the Sharia law. This is the question. Do Western countries have Islamic law? The answer is obvious, no. And if it is no, why do they yearn and they demand the Sharia law in the non-Islamic countries? I think for you, you have seen, when you watch the TVs, you see this news spread all over. You see Muslims in Canada, Muslims in the US, in Texas, in different, different places in the US. You see they demand the Sharia law. Why? Where do they get this idea? How do they read and interpret the Quran? How? Now, at this topic, I will just hint. I will give you a hint of what the Quran says, so that we can compare of what is going on or what Muslims are doing in the Western countries which are non-Islamic, and what the Quran suggests. We'll try to compare and see where is the truth. What I can say, Western countries are non-Islamic countries. We all know about that. That means now some Muslims try to change. They want to change. They want to institute the Sharia law in the non-Islamic countries. Think with me. Let us ponder this together. These Muslims have migrated from their countries because of the political insecurity. They went to the countries which which experience peace. Now they want once again to implement Sharia in the peaceful countries so that also they can start experiencing Islamic violences because of the Sharia law. Does it make sense? Does not make sense at all. Because what they want to do in the Western countries will happen the same, like the countries where they came from, because of the political instability and these, religious, violences. But for me, let me take you to the Quran. Let me take you and see what the Quran says. I read from the Quran chapter 3, that is Surah Al-Imran. I read from the Noble Quran. This Quran is translated by the Islamic University in Medina. So I read from Quran chapter 3, verse 149, as you see there. I'll read only in English. It reads, "O you who believe, if you obey those who disbelieve, they will send you back on your heels, and you will turn back from faith as losers. O you who believe, if you obey those who disbelieve, they will send you back on your heels, and you will turn back from faith as losers." This verse suggests to a Muslim that he should not obey the disbeliever. So to them, the disbelievers, they call them kafir. And the verse here continues to say, they will send you back on your heel, and you will turn back from faith as losers. That means they will lose their faith in Islam. But as we know that the verses of Quran do not go alone, they have the commentary made by their prophet and other, scholars in Islam. They have made a commentary for this verse from the same book of the Holy Quran. What does it say? It says, that is verse chapter 3, verse 149. Now, this is a commentary of the verse we have read, Quran chapter 3, verse 149. It reads, "What is said about residents staying in the land of Ashrik, that is polytheism? That is the land where polytheism is practiced." Narrated Samura bin Jundub, Allah's messenger said, "Anybody from among the Muslims who meets, gathers together, lives, and stays permanently with a mushrik, that is polytheist, or a disbeliever in the oneness of Allah, etc., and agrees to his ways, opinion, etc., and enjoys his living with him, mushrik, then he, that Muslim, is like him." That means mushrik. This hadith indicates that a Muslim should not stay in a non-Muslim country. He must emigrate to a Muslim country where Islam is practiced. This is quoted from the book of Jihad in the book of Abu Dawood. Let us go through this hadith. And this is authentic hadith. That's why it has been quoted in the Noble Quran. It says, a Muslim can go to a non-Muslim country, and if he stays there permanently with those who are non-Muslim, and agrees to what they say and enjoys living with them, the hadith says he, that Muslim, is like him, is a mushrik. The hadith finishes by saying, this hadith indicates that a Muslim should not stay in a non-Muslim country. Let us pause there. This hadith indicates that a Muslim should not stay in a non-Muslim country. US is a non-Muslim country. Canada is a non-Muslim country. France is a non-Muslim country. UK is a non-Muslim country. So if Muslims live there and now they demand now the implementation of the Sharia law in these non-Muslim countries, the hadith finishes by saying he must emigrate to a Muslim country where Islam is practiced. So now when they start demanding the Sharia law into the non-Islamic countries, they go against the Quran and against the authentic hadith, as we have quoted here, where we see now the wave of Muslims are going all over demanding the Sharia law in the non-Islamic countries. In fact, they are going against the Quran. They are infidels because they go against the Quran. What the Quran suggests that if they find that there is no any practice of the Sharia law in the Islamic countries where they are today, immediately they must go to the Islamic countries where Islam is practiced. Now, my question is, why don't they go back to the countries, to the Islamic countries? Instead, they cling to remain in the non-Islamic countries and demanding the implementation of the Sharia law, which is against the Quran and the tradition we have quoted here. So to us, we know that these Muslims have problems. They are infidels. They are disbelievers. They do not believe in the Quran. They are not bound to what the Quran commands. Otherwise, there would be no any violence we see in the Western countries. Why? Because when Muslims found that there is no implementation of the Sharia law according to what the verse and the hadith says, immediately they would revert, they will go back to their Islamic countries where they came from and live Western countries which are non-Islamic countries alone. But to them, they do not do so. I wish somebody would ask them if they are real Muslims and are binding to what the Quran says. I wish somebody would ask them. That's why I took this opportunity just to aid, to shed some light for those who do not know what is going on. I would like just for you to know that the Quran has commanded Muslims to leave non-Islamic countries when they see Islam is not well practiced there. This is very important. And by doing so, they will find peace. Because now many countries have started banning the Islamic activities into these non-Islamic countries. They have started banning, wearing this burqa. They have started, some of the Islamic schools have been closed down. So you see, why all this chaos? Simply is because you wanted to stay permanently in the non-Islamic country and now you want to bring something which is not allowed in the country. Christian? 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 Christian, I think you are calling. Oh. So I would like just to share this information. Share this information to our brothers in the Western countries who are now being pinched and disturbed by our friend Muslims. That's why I say those Muslims are not well versed with the Quran. Otherwise, they could not started demanding this the implementation of the Sharia law, while they know that in the Western countries are non-Islamic countries. So you see, they started doing demonstration simply because now the mayor of New York is a Muslim. The mayor in the UK is a Muslim. So now they want to start demanding the implementation of this Sharia law into the non-Islamic countries. This is not how the Quran says. The Quran suggests otherwise, that if they found that they cannot practice their Islamic laws into those non-Islamic countries, the Quran and the Hadith together suggest that they should go back to the Islamic countries. This is what I would like to share with you. And please share this to our brothers and sisters in the US. We know that some of them, they are not aware of what is going on. They think perhaps these people are demanding something which is their right. But according to the Quran, as I've read here, it is not true. It is the opposite. They want to implement the Sharia law into the countries which need no Sharia, because they have their own secular constitutions. Normally, when you implement the Sharia law, that means Muslim community will become superior against the inferior non-Muslims. So that is not good. That is not good. If you want to practice that, please go back to your Islamic countries as the Quran and the Hadith suggest, so that you can practice what you need. Let us be honest to ourselves, and let us be pure in our heart. Our others, is because you were in trouble. Now, what is happening now to you? They welcomed you to save your lives because of the violence in your Islamic countries. And today now, you want to bring the same into the peaceful countries. This does not sound well to me. Does not sound well at all. That's why I would like I would like to the government of France, we need Muslims whom we can live with them peacefully, without this threatening of demanding the Sharia law, while they know that they are living in the non-Islamic countries where Sharia law is not practiced there. So this is what I would like to share with you in a nutshell of what is going on in the UK, in the US, in Canada, in France, and other Western countries where Muslims have started now demanding the implementation of the Sharia law. Please share with them. Tell them that there is a verse in the Quran. If really they are believers, there is a verse in the Quran and the Hadith which tell them that they should go back to the Islamic countries so that they can implement the Sharia law peacefully, rather than going and forcing to implement this Sharia into the non-Islamic country. This short message, I would like you to take this to the world and to my friend Muslims so that they can understand. I saw somebody wants just to join with me here. Yes. I would like just to I would like if you have a question to ask. So I would like I would love to hear from you if you have any question. Jai Mwankemwa is speaking English. Jai, I'm not AI. I'm not AI. I'm live now. I'm trying to shed light of what I know, because your fellow Muslims who have been welcomed in the Western countries have started demanding the implementation of the Sharia law into the non-Islamic countries. That's I've quoted some verses here from the Quran chapter 3 verse 149, and quoted the hadith that if a Muslim lives in a non-Islamic country and find that he cannot practice his religion, he must go back to the Islamic country. That's what I would like to suggest. So I'm not AI. You know, I'm Dr. Daniel Mwankemwa. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, brother. Share this message to our friends and our brothers, those who live in the West. As I said, some of them do not know that there is a verse and a hadith in the Quran which gives the solution of what is going on now in the UK, the US, France, Canada, and the other Western countries which are Islamic countries. Otherwise, I say welcome again. We'll be sharing a lot because of this wave of Muslim demanding Sharia in the West. Be blessed. Thank you.
Asante kwa kutoa muda wako kujifunza pamoja nami, na kama utapenda kuomba nami ili umpokee Yesu, nipigie kwa simu namba +255 755 680 101. Pia unaweza kutuma sadaka yako kwa namba hiyo hiyo.